Hello guys, Ryan here with another Dad Life video. And guys, today I want to talk to you about being the example as a father, as a parent in general. I think it's a very important subject, something I spent a long time thinking about before I was a father. Now I'm a father, I've been a father the last 2 years. And I feel like especially with fathers, what I look at, what I see, what I hear, what I know, is not enough fathers being the example. And that's the difference, what I spoke previously in the previous video, difference between a good father and a great father. Good father can give everything to their kids, spend lots of time with them. A great father is someone who still works on themselves, is the example. And it's an important concept and one I wanted to talk to you about today. You know, with these videos, guys, I don't really set anything up. I don't really plan anything. I don't really write anything down, no bullet points. I'm sort of just going off a concept that I want to talk about and just sort of ramble off and see where I get to. But yeah, the example, you know, for me, a clear example of this, let's say, is staying in shape as a dad, being in shape, getting in shape, staying in shape, whatever it is. You know, I was on the beach. I live in Cyprus. It's a Mediterranean island, small island, only 1 million people population. And I live about 200 yards from the beach, so we're often on the beach. And I was looking around the other day on the beach to see generally out of the men who were in shape, even from the teenagers or, you know, all ages. And it's a small percentage of guys, even though we live on a beach culture, it's a higher percentage than what would be where I came from in England. You know, more people work out here generally than in England, because you know, when you spend half of the year on the beach with your top off, you got to look in decent shape. But still, generally, you know, most men don't work out, don't train, don't look that good. And then I was looking at the fathers, so clearly the ones that are with their families, and trying to notice how many of them train and keep in shape. And I'm telling you, I could think of maybe, if I go to a beach and see a few fathers, I'm probably saying there's maybe like one or two other like genuinely look in good shape and train, and then like high level shape is like super, super rare. Now I consider myself in decent shape. With my job, I have to be in good shape. Being a tennis coach, I'm all day running around. So I'm staying slim. I'd like to be bigger than what I am, but it's very, very difficult with my job. When you're on your feet constantly, you know, we let the body rest and get the calories. But I would say I'm still in decent shape. I'm still in the top 5% of dads, let's say, in the shape they're in. And that's an example I leave. Like your kid's gonna look at you as the example, as like your heroes especially when they're young. They're looking at you as like you're their hero. And if you're just like fat, out of shape, you know, skinny fat, that's like the typical dad bod for me, is like skinny fat. You know, if your kid's not gonna look at you, and you're not gonna set a great example there. What example are you setting? You're setting an example. They never see you train, nothing. You know, for me, my kid, we've set up a home gym here now. Recently, a little home set up, and we need to complete it. But we're doing some workouts in there, and my kid sees it and he loves it. He loves joining in. He loves getting into the workouts. He's done his own handstands. He's got his own weights going on, and you can see, you know, that's been imprinted in his mind. Like, okay, my dad trains. I'm going to train as well, and that's what I mean. To one of the examples I mean by setting the example, be the example. How many dads, they have kids and they just think, that's it. It's over for me now, you know, I've done my duty, I've, you know, passed on my DNA, great, there's not much else I need to do. You know, a lot of people are very successful up until they have kids, and they work really hard on themselves, they have kids and they sort of relax. And that's a terrible thing to do, in my opinion. I think when you have kids, then the real work starts. Most people think, like, if you haven't had any type of success, haven't really tried anything to improve yourself, then you have kids, well then you're screwed, right? Then it's definitely over. You have kids, chances of success, be able to set yourself a business from scratch, you know, training, you know, you don't have the time, you don't have the be able to sleep, all these many excuses. You've suddenly got way more excuses than you had before, then you're definitely not going to do it. And I think that's nonsense. I think it's bollocks. I'm definitely a big believer in you know, you've always got time, it's just your priorities. What do you want to put a priority? And being the example and working on yourself as a parent and as a person, some people think that's selfish as a parent. Like, I think it's the complete opposite. You know, again, I'm in a fortunate position, right, where I can, my mother-in-law lives right next door to us. Okay, it's a very Greek setup here, right? She's next door, yes, I know what you're thinking. But she's been a huge help. She helps look after the baby. She comes around every day for an hour and a half, looks after him. So I've got that luxury of having that help. Now I could say, as a father, I want to spend as much time with my kid as I can. So I'm not going to have her come around. I'm going to spend all my time with my kid. Okay, that's great. You know, that's good for you. You know, that would be a good thing, right? Spend more time. But I choose not to do that. I choose to take an hour and a half out, give the kid to my mother-in-law, so then I can go and train, so I can work on myself, so I get my training in, so I look better, I feel better. And some people say, well, that's a bit selfish, but I think it's complete opposite. I think that's giving that time to myself, to better myself, improve myself, is only going to rub off on my son. He's only going to see great results from that. He's going to see his father put in some work. He's going to see his father look better, be in good shape. He sees me reading, he sees me studying, he sees me, he's with the earplugs in. He doesn't know what that all means right now, right? About I'm listening to podcasts, he doesn't know what podcast is, but eventually, you know, it will all click for him. And, you know, he sees me working on myself, he sees me working on this, doing YouTube videos, editing, trying to put all this out. This is all going to rub off on your kid in a big, big way. Now, even today, and further on down the line. So I think you need to set time up for yourself, especially as a man, as a father. It's a little bit different with women. And we'll get onto that in a later video. But for men, for the fathers, very, very important to take some time out for yourself, which in the long run ultimately really is for your family. Because if you can work on yourself, continue to work on yourself, continue to better yourself, continue to train, continue to eat healthy, continue to study, learn, work on businesses, side hustles, whatever it is, that's only ultimately going to rub off on your children and on your family. And it doesn't even matter if there's a huge success at the end of it. Let's say you try and start a business and you work hard on that and ultimately it doesn't materialize and it fails. If your kid has seen the hard work that you've put into it, and the dedication, and you've gone in there and you tried your best, and you have got better over the process, you've learned things, and ultimately that's the biggest giveaway that your kid's going to take from that. Not so much the success that you dreamed of and didn't materialize, but they see you working hard, they see you putting in the effort, they see you getting better day by day. That's all your kid needs. That's what your kid needs from you. And that's what being the example is, setting the example. You know, there is that saying, right? You should be the father, as a father, you should be the man you want your kids to grow up to be. Absolutely, 100% believe that. And if you've got a daughter, again, you're the first man your daughter's going to look up to and admire. You should be the man she wants to admire. And then in her future partners, I believe that those girls grow up and they want their partners to be very similar in the ways to their fathers. It might sound a little bit weird to some, but I think it's very, very true. I don't think that's a weird or sick thing myself. I just think that's a fact. And so you, again, set the example to your daughters of the type of man you want in her life. And this means continuing to work on yourself, continually improving. Of course, sacrifices have to be made. You know, I would love to go into a gym 3 hours a day, basically. I would love to, you know, read, 2 books a week and so forth and do all this other stuff. Sorry guys, the video cut out there, so a bit different setup, and also if I if I repeat myself a little bit, I apologize. But yeah, where I was going, I was saying I would love to have more time to do more things, but you got to make some sacrifices, of course. I know that. I know being a parent is very, very difficult. I understand that. I get that. But at the same time, if you want to raise great kids, you got to do great things. You got to be a great person yourself. So putting that time aside as a parent to improve, especially as a father, is vitally, vitally important, and not selfish at all. Not selfish at all. You might get that. Maybe you'll get a little backlash from your partner. Maybe you'll get backlash from family or whatever, and say, "Well, you do having this time to yourself, even if it's an hour a day." I remember when I started training. When my kid was going to sleep, and I would try getting a little bit of sessions, and my wife was like, "You should be doing this around the house while he's asleep and stuff like this. It's selfish." It's like, no, it's not. This is me setting the example. I want my kid to see me training. I want my kid to see me in great shape. And it doesn't have to be like that. I think we should set the example in everything we do. How we dress, how we look, how we eat, how we talk, how we interact with people, with strangers, with friends, etc. Always setting that example. Know they're always watching. Kids are always watching, guys. Yeah, their minds are like sponges. They take it all in. You're their heroes. They're the people they put on a pedestal. They want to be like you. They want to act like you and talk like you and do the things you do. So you have to set a good example. Unfortunately, I just don't see enough parents doing that. That might sound really harsh, might sound really arrogant. I just don't see enough parents doing that, unfortunately. And if they did, it would be a much, much better world. A much better world. I have a saying that the biggest threat to humanity is not nuclear war or pandemics or climate change. I think it's shitty parents. I really do. If we had better parents, we would have a better world. We have parents that were really great examples for their kids. We'd have phenomenal human beings. But yeah, so that's my little rant on it today. I'll definitely elaborate on this more and more in the future, more videos. And this is the headline, guys. This is the tagline for this channel is, and the motto is, be the example. As fathers, you have to be the example. And so we will delve deep into this many, many times. But guys, if you enjoyed it, if you've come to the end of the video, come this far, I would love it if you could send me your comments. I'll reply to every one of you. This is a new channel, so it's a big help if you guys could like and subscribe the video, and keep an eye out for more content and keep coming back. Thank you.